Well, hello, friends. It's your pal Tom Picklefeather, here to tell you a story that's just for kids. Warning, not for children. Hey, everybody. Today's story is about bullying. And sometimes, to help a bully see the light, you have to talk to an ex-bully, someone who already saw the light. And that's covered in today's story, Silence of the Lambs. Once upon a time, there was a special girl named Clarice Starling, and she was a student. She was learning how to be an FBI agent, and her specialty was behaviors, which means she talked to people about their behaviors, what led them to be, meanies and bullies. She would try to convince them to not be bullies, or she'd help them be put on timeout. Anyway, one assignment she got was she had to investigate a man named Buffalo Bill, who was cornering all these girls and bullying them out of their clothes because he was just mean. And they called him Buffalo Bill because he was a big fan of westerns, and he loved the character Buffalo Bill from the westerns. Look it up; it's very interesting history. Anyway, she decided that she would talk to a former bully named Hannibal Lector, who was in permanent timeout because he had been such a really mean bully. But anyway, he would steal people's liver. They would have their liver and onions dinner, and he would steal it and go, ha ha, I'm eating your liver, ha ha ha. And he'd have a bottle of Chianti, which is some grown-up juice, with it. That's just the mean stuff he did. Anyway, let's get back to the story. So Clarice started talking to Mr. Lecter, and Mr. Lecter's like, you know what? I will help you catch this meanie Buffalo Bill, but I'm gonna want some things. Timeout's pretty bad, so I need to make it less bad. So they were like, okay, let's make a deal. So Hannibal Lecter was like, sure, I would like a nicer timeout corner. And you know what? I love hearing people's stories. So why don't you tell them about your life, Miss Starling? So Miss Starling would talk about her life, how her dad went to sleep one day and just didn't wake up. So she went through a lot of foster care. And one night she was taken care of by a family that farmed sheep for eating. Well, one day she walked in on the sheep, and the sheep were just scared of a storm, and she just couldn't get that sheep screams out of her mind, and it just made her sad every time she thought about it, which is the name of the story, Silence of the Lambs, because she's just trying to make those sheep be quiet in her head. Hannibal Lecter, he tells Clarice, hey, I knew Mr. Buffalo Bill, and he bullies the girls because he wanted to be a girl. He wanted to be a pretty girl, but life had other plans for him. So Clarice was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to this guy because he was currently bullying the daughter of a mayor, and the mayor was very sad that her daughter was being bullied so bad. She offered a reward. So Clarice was like, you know what? I don't need the reward. It's my job to catch these bullies and put them on timeout or make them nice. So she went over. She found Buffalo Bill, and she was like, Mr. Buffalo Bill, you can't keep bullying these girls. I mean, it's okay that you want to be a lady. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't take that anger out on girls. And Buffalo was like, you know what? You got a point. I'm going to stop bullying them girls and, work on myself and try and do what it takes to be as close to a beautiful girl as I can be. And Clarice was like, you know what? You're a beautiful girl inside if you just let her out. And Buffalo was like, oh, that's wonderful. So they ended up, he stopped bullying that mayor's daughter, and Clarice got a phone call from Mr. Lecter, and he said, you know what? They liked my help so much that they let me go after I told two naughty cops, to stop bullying in their own way. And Clarice said, oh, that's wonderful. So you're off timeout. And Hannibal was like, yes, I am. You take care. And Clarice was like, you too. And Clarice went on to be a really good FBI agent. So goes to show you that sometimes, people bully because they have something that makes them sad. And so sometimes it helps to talk with them and help them figure out, what they really want other than bullying people. I hope you enjoyed that story. If you want more stories that are a bit spicy and you want them to be a little nicer for little ones, please let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to make that for you. Till then, you take care of yourself, and just know I love you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.